heard me probably quote this guy numerous times. He's a Google product expert. He's been in the SEO industry forever. He's very well known for always being on top of everything that's going on with Google specifically. His name is Brian Ussery. He's Director of SEO at Sapient, and he also is involved very closely with working with Google. They used to be called top contributors. Now they're called Google product experts, specifically with Google Search Console and Google Search and SEO. So very interested in talking with him. I've known him for a long time, like I said, and I hope you enjoy meeting Brian. We matched today?
Yes.
That's our dress code from now on. Everybody I interview has to match with me.
We planned it that way. I called Barry. He was like, wear blue, then fall through the screen on the back of the stage. But
yes.
He didn't tell me there was a brick wall.
Yes, I did not. I'll embed that tweet later. In any event, can you please tell people who you are?
My name is Brian Ussery. I'm the Director of SEO at Razorfish's office in Atlanta. I'm one of Google's product expert in the webmaster help forum for Search Console, where I've been answering questions for 10
What's
years.
the most common question you get there?
Normally, like, why does my site not rank?
And what's the answer?
Because it's disallowed via robot text.
That is usually the answer.
Yeah, that is the answer. Sometimes, or else it's no indexed. The crazy thing is a lot of people's site still shows up even when it is disallowed via robot text.
It's creepy, right?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. And you've been doing SEO since 2000, right?
That is right.
And I've known you.
I'm very old. You're very old.
Very old. We are literally. We actually have wheelchairs here. We're barely able to stand. Actually, somebody's holding us up. It's not a good thing. But I think I've known you probably since 2002, 2003.
Oh yeah, for a long time.
You've been in the Google forums.
Search engine watch days.
Yep. You were in the forums then.
Moderator. Okay. Yep. So were you?
I was.
Yep.
Yes.
I was the moderator for Google issues.
And you fixed all those issues too.
Yep.
Because why? What was the most common issue there? Same thing, probably, right?
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
Yeah. It just repeats itself.
Just allow Google to access your site, because there's no reason to block them anymore, because they have access to everything.
Yep. Make good content.
Good content, make a happy user experience.
Yep. Make
the best website. Forget about links.
Make sure your links have Ahrefs.
Ahrefs and links.
And that they're not JavaScript.
Make sure they're blue with underlines. Don't do green underlines.
Think about people that may want to buy your products and what they may search for in the search results. Like, this product may be great for an arborist.
You see the humor in that?
Yeah, lots of humor.
But back in the day, we really couldn't care less about users or about anybody but our affiliate sites.
And links.
Links.
Buying links.
Buying links.
Like Barry's always said, buy links.
Buy links. No, not using no follows. And then Google slapped on these no follows. It was your fault, right?
Yep.
You're to blame for that no follow, actually.
I think the no follow was actually first tested on Matt Cutz's UNC website.
Really?
Did you know that? I think it's
I did not know that.
That
makes sense.
I think so.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So it's Matt Cutz's fault.
Yep.
Anyway, let's go ahead. Let's talk about your history a little bit. So 2000, you started in SEO, spamming and jamming.
Nope. I honestly studied Google from an academic perspective and thought that their approach was very interesting. And I realized that if you provided great content that was helpful, that you could actually succeed and at the same time use a lot of highly relevant keywords that would rank well. And so yeah, that was kind of where I got started. One of the first things I did was to recommend somebody not use the manufacturer's product description, but instead to create their own, to ask, what are people living in the dorms gonna search for online.
So you didn't believe in actually scraping other people's manufacturers' information, using APIs to pull this data in, and doing the cheapest way to build websites, and just throwing tons of links to it. You didn't believe in that?
Nope, not really. Well, I didn't think it would work very long, because one of the first things that Google's founders did was to find near neighbors.
It worked until 2012, right?
I mean, it kind of
12
worked.
years or so. You missed out. You could have been a lot more wealthier.
It worked for a little while.
You missed out on a lot of money.
But at the same time, you could still make great content that did rank well. So
yes,
by following the rules and doing things right.
You could definitely follow the rules and spend a lot more time and effort to get where you needed to go.
I was just one of those guys. I didn't want to wake up every morning being like, is today the day?
So you never had a site get penalized?
No, I don't think so. No, I've never had. I've helped a lot of sites that have gotten penalized. But yeah, I cannot think of a single site that's ever gotten penalized.
I don't know if I ever spoke to a 20-year SEO vet that never had a penalty that they were involved with.
There you go. There you go.
All right, we're done here. See ya. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so you have a pretty long history. I know you work at Razorfish now. You've been working there for 5 years or so.
Yep. Before that, I worked with New Run, which was then acquired by Razorfish.
And then you went through all the different acquisitions and name changes and so forth.
Yep.
Razorfish has been one of the oldest companies out there in the digital marketing and internet space.
They were actually owned by Microsoft at one time, I think.
Yeah. I think they were founded probably in 1990 or so. 1990 something?
I don't know, maybe even before that.
Before that.
I don't remember the history.
Because I remember when I had my company in like 1995, I don't know, early 1990s.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Razorfish is the cool company to be in web design, web development.
Yeah.
But now they're much bigger than just building websites. They do everything.
All kinds of stuff.
How many SEOs do you have? Can you talk about that or no?
Yes. I think 35, but we're hiring. So if you're interested in looking for a job in Atlanta or New York or Detroit or Chicago.
Do you need experience?
Austin, yes.
You have to have experience.
You have to have some experience at least.
I can't get the job, I guess. It's not for me.
And yes, we'd hire you.
I don't have experience.
Can you start next week?
I don't have any SEO experience, so I can't. But maybe.
You can, we don't do link buying.
So what am I supposed to do there all day? Tetris?
Create great content that's helpful.
What do I know about creating great content?
Look at this. This is good content. Who else packs the video camera with them everywhere they go?
It's tiny. The camera's like this big.
Well, I mean, technology's gotten better. So
yeah.
You now have a big camera that you used to need a huge
those big ones just like carry.
Yeah. And then you had to have some person too, like
I know.
carry because
I once had like one of these, I guess NBC or ABC, one of these big networks come to my office to interview me about something.
I'm sure it probably happens like yesterday.
It wasn't yesterday, but it was a massive camera, and there was no room in my office for it. So what they did was like wedged it in, and the camera was literally in my face like this. It was like this close, and the guy interviewing me was right here, and we're talking to each other, and we're spitting on each other. Literally, it was that close. And they're like, don't worry, it'll look like you're miles away. And when I watched it, it looked like we were pretty normal spaced away.
No, it is crazy how it is.
But like, we were making out on video. It was disgusting.
Yeah, that's
before
hilarious.
the coronavirus, so it was all good. Although SARS might have been out then.
Yeah.
Those days.
So how often do you get interviewed by big network television
Not so
stations?
often.
Not so often?
No. If you're watching this and you work at the big networks, definitely interview this guy.
No.
The last guy who interviewed me was probably Brian Williams.
Oh, really? Well,
that
like,
ruined my career.
That's like the nightly news.
Yeah, but then his whole career was ruined, and he took me down with him. Thank you very much, Brian. I appreciate it.
Well, that's true, but
anyway,
you can always reach out to some other people. I'm sure with your connections, you could.
I could. I'm not very good on camera.
What's your favorite thing about being on camera? Do you think, as opposed to writing and?
This is not. You're not interviewing me. I'm interviewing you.
It's turning around. We're creating great content here.
I don't care, honestly. I don't know. I like just to talk about stuff.
Okay.
In any event, let's talk about other things.
Okay.
GoogleBot.
GoogleBot.
GoogleBot likes to get around.
Yep.
It likes to go onto major network sites.
Yep. It now is better at handling JavaScript, assuming that you've created your site properly with the JavaScript that ideally is going to provide a rendered version or somewhat rendered version of the page. However, there's still a lot of things that can go wrong. You can disallow certain things via robot text, which goes way back to what's old is new again and what's new is old again. There's still a number of things that can go wrong technologically. You want to make sure that you're linking to all of your pages using Ahrefs, that your images have SRC. Those attributes are important. They're kind of like a call signal to, hey, this is actually a link. If you don't put a URL in there, there's some kind of JavaScript. That can be problematic. There's still, lots of issues, but the greatest thing is they're now crawling in a way that's more similar to how users interact with the site. So
just build your website great for a user, great content, make sure your users could access it.
Unique content
with great links that are not paid for.
That provides utility to the user.
GoogleBot will eat it up,
yes.
EAT it up.
It should, EAT it up. Yep.
Yes, it should.
Yep.
But not Flash, still not Flash.
Flash what?
Adobe Flash.
Oh, I don't think. Adobe's across the street,
but
I don't
here.
think. Oh, yeah.
We used to have sessions here about how to optimize your website.
I remember.
Flash. And what do you do?
Yep.
What was the answer?
Yep.
Cloak.
Don't use Flash.
Don't use Flash or Cloak.
Well, no, I mean, one of the biggest things that came out of Flash is using the fragment identifier hashtag in URLs, which is still used with JavaScript, and that's still a mistake because, according to spec, it refers to the same source, and as a result, it's not seen as a different page, and that's problematic when you create links to what look like 5 or 6 different URLs, but it's only one URL. No, I mean, it's still
available.
Pretty,
I thought Google deprecated. Maybe that was the hashbang.
That's the hashbang.
Ajax.
Yeah. Yep. This is
Google-
actually something called Swift Address that was actually for Flash. So,
Yeah, good old days.
good old days.
Yeah, how about e-commerce? I think you're into e-commerce, right? We
Yep.
have a note here about
Talking about
optimizing for e-commerce stuff.
Again, it's just making sure that your products don't necessarily use the description that the manufacturer provided. They're unique, that they, you know, if it's a chainsaw chain, what types of chainsaws will it fit? Include that type of information. If the design is different, don't call something a Georgia Bulldog t-shirt whenever it's got the logo for the Georgia Bulldog head, or it actually says the word Georgia Bulldogs, or it just says UGA. If it's red, you know, you want to make sure that you correctly describe something visually. Just like if you saw it, you didn't know what it was, you didn't search for it, you want to use those same words that somebody on the side of the street would see whenever they were searching, rather than what the manufacturer just put out there for you to use.
So let's say you had a client like Home Depot. I don't
Okay.
know if they are a client. They could be,
Yep.
for all I know. I have no idea. I don't know, really. But if they did have a client like Home Depot, and that website has what? I don't know, millions of products on it?
Yep.
You would have your SEO team of 35 people go through every single product description, look at it,
Nope.
and update every single one.
There are ways that can be done programmatically, and those
Bert?
are, well,
Have you ever used BERT to write product descriptions?
you can create a few templates, and that's normally one of the best ways. Yeah, but you want to stay away from anything that looks too
Programmatic.
too programmatic. But at the same time, there is a way to do it at scale. You don't necessarily have to do it for all your products. Just pick some of your products that are the top sellers. Not everything is easily done. At the same time, you have to remember your competitor, Amazon, they're doing a pretty good job of providing product. And that's why they rank number one for everything, is because they provide helpful. And you don't necessarily have to create it programmatically. You can also allow questions and answers,
Yep.
which will also
Reviews, all that stuff.
create unique content. So it's not all about you creating the content. It's about engaging with your customers.
Cool.
So,
That's awesome advice. Thank you so much.
Thank
so how do
you.
people follow you? Were you active on social media?
yep, at BEUSSERY on Twitter. That's probably the best place
If
to
you're
find
looking for an SEO job, they should reach out to you on Twitter, LinkedIn.
me. Sure, absolutely.
They'll hire
Twitter,
you.
LinkedIn, or just check out Razorfish.com and the jobs that we have posted through.
And Atlanta,
the
New
links.
York.
Atlanta, New York, Chicago, Austin, Cleveland. Like
Do you
we're
lead
all
the team?
over. Nope.
So
I'm
you don't
actually,
have to, he's not your boss, so it's
yeah,
fine.
I'm in Atlanta, so yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I lead our
So you don't have to work for this guy, which is okay.
Yeah.
Better off that way anyway. I'm just joking.
exactly.
Anyway, thanks so much for doing this. I appreciate
Yep.
it.
Thank you, and thank you again for having me.
No problem.
So
Thanks.
cool. Thanks so much.